Ready.
Welcome y'all to the Reality or Not podcast with your boy DJ Reality and your boy Brian Clancy from Nothing New Under the Sun. What's good with you, Brian?
Hey man, I'm blessed and impressed with life God gave me. What about yourself?
Man, chilling like a villain last night, Macmillan. How you feeling? You know what I'm saying? Just living life. Cold. You got cold back down here. I don't know why, but
cold or chilly?
Cold. And I'm talking 28, 38 type of weather, and it was 75 a couple days ago. It was 75 and 68. So I was like, okay, well, now it's the opportunity for me to, get back outside, do some workouts out there. And then shit, it got cold like 2 days after that. And I was like, well, I ain't running out. I'm not to the level of white people yet. And I don't want to put that on them. Because you say all white people, like people get mad when you're all inclusive, but I only see white people running outside. I think I saw a black person a few months ago, but I never see anybody other than white people running outside in the morning or in the evening. So
all right. Now yeah. I'm gonna tell you here, I'm in Central Florida. Mm-hmm. I see black people out there either walking or running in the morning, which I was impressed with. But it could be because I'm in the burbs and this is different out here. They like the Indians and the Hispanic people be walking like the kids strollers. I had never really paid attention to that, but they walk up and down my little cul-de-sac with the strollers and stuff. So it's interesting.
Man, you said a word. Different. Look, you said in dope background, by the way. You said a word.
I gotta have my DJ.
I love that shit. I was like, that's dope. This is off topic, but it's on topic. You had just mentioned Indian. Like for me, the word Indian at this point in my life, I'm always cautious of who I'm saying it to. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying it because maybe we just live in a world where we want to be safe, but I do want to make sure that everyone's comfortable, and I'm never going to try to make somebody feel uncomfortable, like you fucking anything like that. But at the same time, every time I think of
I think whenever you put effing in front of it, like
it fucks it up. But listen, but you brought up a great point. It's all about intent versus words that just that are automatic triggers, right? So I always try to think of, thinking back, you talking about, things such as cowboys and Indians. And then, so it's kind of like, the Indians that's within, or Native Americans that's within the U.S., we automatically, like when we were younger, that was not, I mean, you can speak differently, but we always saw that as Indians versus what Indians actually are from, being from India and stuff like that. So it's just always interesting. Like when I hear the word, I always try to be like, understand who I'm talking about. Cause like I said, that whole idea of cowboys and Indians, it was literally cowboys versus Native Americans. And the whole idea of India and people that come from India, being Indian folks.
Yeah. So I was speaking of the Indian, the East Indies.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm just saying that word just makes me uncomfortable. It makes. I have to think about it before I say it to make sure I'm saying it to the right group. Because
I have definitely changed my tone because like I used to call them Native American. Well, I used to call them Indians. That's what when we grew up, it was white, Mexican, Black, Indian. Those are the only segments that we had.
I'll stay to this day. I still don't like. I like Puerto Rican. It was like Puerto Rican, Colombian. That like it was just Mexican. That's just what it was, and it wasn't like it was just they all spoke Spanish. It wasn't, then you started to get older and you start to see differently that like, okay, all of these different cultures and stuff like that, but it wasn't really separated for us within the community that we grew up in. It, like you said, it was those categories that you mentioned. But it's just always interesting that, and this is where, thinking, inside of the box. And we had talked about like growing out of it. Like, how do you like what? Well, no, I don't want to say that. I'll say that. Say, for instance, from the analogy that we just used, sometimes if you never seen more than what you've seen from your comfort zone or your experiences, you tend to have a little bit more biases towards race, gender, etc. Like, I know for me growing up, we didn't really have a lot of, like, we definitely didn't have trans. That was just not but seeing things outside of the LGBTQ and all of that stuff, like from going to school, living, working, and stuff like that, you start to see a little bit more exposure within social media, television, etc. Like, how is that? Like, was it a difficult transition for you, seeing more of that outside of your comfort zone?
Yeah, so like the whole Indian and Native American thing, I kind of elevated as I got more educated, and like I was like, yo, Christopher Columbus came over and met these people and called them Indians because he thought he was in India, right? Like that's an identity of crisis that they ain't even put on them, right? And then I thought about it. I was like, dang, well, like they were Native Americans is kind of disrespectful too, because they was here before it was America. So then like I got a mentor, her name is Morning Bear, and she describes herself as indigenous people. Indigenous, yes, indigenous people. And that makes more sense. And it's all about, like, once you know better, you do better. And so like I was, coming from the places that you come from, if you don't grow, then I think that's kind of the box that you put yourself in.
Yeah. See, and the problem I have with that, you brought up a great point. The problem I have with that is that if you don't know, I feel like it's not to say that it's okay, because, I feel like some people choose to be ignorant rather than accepting, I want to say accepting the terms, but accepting what life is. And so if you've only been exposed to this, of course, you're going to have certain biases towards things. But if you've been exposed to what the world is offering or what the world is, and you're just like, it's almost, I want to say racist, but it's definitely prejudice, but choosing to not accept, I don't know, gay relationships or these things that are, the different things that have more exposure to them now than what they did, per se when we were growing up. That stuff kind of doesn't, not to say it doesn't sit well with me, because I mean, look, do what you want to do, but at the same time, I when you choose to have a bias without learning of what you're being biased towards, that annoys me.
It annoys me too. And like the favorite part about growing, and like I had, remember Alex and Jose and them in that neighborhood that used to live on Park Street, right? So having friends that I learned, hey, they're not Mexican, right? Like they actually, one of them, I think Alex, he was Guatemalan. But again, you got to be able to experience this stuff, and then like, and they to know, to have a friend is to be really in it, right? So like I know, like it's a comedian, right? And he was like, I got two little things to say about it, because it's inside jokes when you got inside friends, right? So he was like, let me just set up the joke. He was like, it's on YouTube, y'all look it up, and he was like, I was hanging around black people, and I thought they were misgendering me. They kept saying, "What's up, Monica?"
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And then he was like, "Hey, if you have a black friend, they'll tell you what I'm saying, but if you don't, you kind of left out." And that right there is exactly how the culture works. If you get stuck in your bubble, you will never grow, and they will never know what Monica really means.
Yeah, I saw that joke. No, but that's just accepting it, but you got to be cautious too of acceptance versus, like, say for instance, like, I like the way he told the joke, and he told it very good where it wasn't like offensive. But when you get people that try to I feel like when you like, I accept people's culture, but I don't try to be in a culture, as in, like, I don't try to, I don't know, I'm trying to think. I don't try to say things that are normally said within their culture to make me a part of their culture. As an example, like, if I'm white, like, I would never say nigga. I would never say the N-word. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
do they have a word do they have a word that we can't say?
I don't know about race wise, but I mean, as an example, no, I'm saying as an example, but like, say for instance, if somebody's Latino and they calling their people spick or something like that, something that in a sense that can be offensive to others. Or I'll give you a good example. Like, say for instance, I've seen the term, and like I said, this isn't all women, but I've seen the term bitch thrown around. But and they be like, whatever, bitch. Like, they talking to each other. But then, if I pop up, if you're like, hey, whatever, bitch, like, it's gonna be like, why am I a bitch? Like, it's a whole thing. I'm saying, like, it creates confrontation. And not to say that I don't, speak like I do say bitch, but I don't direct it towards women, just because I know where it can go, versus like, man, whatever, bitch, like, you tripping, what I'm saying? But we was talking about this before, you was talking about when you was hooping, and my man, like, in the heat of things, called you a bitch. Is like, okay, now it's smoke. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, I mean, to pull it full circle, where we were talking about, it's all about intent when you're saying things versus, like, you just talking, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, certain words have a certain trigger to certain cultures that you just can't, like, it's like, I remember the word training, like, that used to, or transvestite, like, that used to be like a huge thing.
What does transvestite mean? Does that mean that
I mean, it's been downsized. It's been changed to trans, you know what I'm saying, as the more accepted term, rather
transgender.
than
So transgender versus transvestite. I don't know what that meant. Like, was it
what's the
only
difference
women?
between the two?
Yeah.
I don't think that I think that they're the same, and you quote me in the comments or whatever, but I think that they have the same, like I said, I'm not about to get canceled, but I think that they have the same the same definition.
See, I thought the transvestite would be the female, because of the so I don't even know. I'm just thinking out loud, y'all. So, but matter of fact, let me get to the other side of that story. The other, because like I had said I had two. So let me go to the other side. I'm in Istanbul, and I got to talk to the neurologist. He's the kidney guy, right? And he asked me, I had to pay. Now let me set up this story.
Hold on, before you go into this. Okay.
Yeah.
Transgendered individuals have gender identity that differs from their assigned sex, often seeking to align their body or life with that identity. In contrast, a transvestite, often called a cross-dresser, wears clothing associated with the opposite gender for personal, emotional, or sexual reasons, but generally identifies with their birth sex. So essentially, like, transvestite is a way of dressing to the opposite sex, and transgendered is changing the gender that they identify with initially, but changing it to a different gender.
Hey, so are you gay if you're a dude and found a transgender woman attractive?
Nah, I don't think so.
Now,
I think
you find out that she's transgender. Does that change?
sexuality, like sexuality is weird, right? And I say that as in, like, you're gay when you, I would say that you automatically seek out the other gender. You know what I'm saying? Versus, and I mean, this goes to your example, and I'm saying, like, they weren't seeking out a man at the time. You know, so I would say if it's a man and a man, like they in the transgendered is a woman, fully did all of the things, then no, I would say no. But you know, like I said, it just depends on how you look at it. I like I said, out of preference, you know, heterosexual, that, you know, the whole, I mean, I've seen
you gotta declare that you're heterosexual.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's just being, because it's not like, you know, I mean, there's no other, is it straight or whatever, but it's just one of them things. It's just like, you can't really, like I said, I don't have anything opposed. Like, I'm not opposed to the transgendered community, but at the same time, I know out of preference what I'm going for. So it's just like what you're seeking out, and I don't know. I'm not against anybody, you know, changing their body and doing all of the things, but that doesn't mean that that's what I'm looking for, you know. And a lot of people feel like, you know, like, oh, well, you shouldn't be able to do that. I was like, well, I mean, hey, look, you can do whatever you want, like, and I'm okay with, you know, like, shit, you go over here and do whatever you do, and I'll go over here and do what I mean, I don't care what you do to your body. Like, I really don't, you know, have no investment in what you're doing. Like, shit, if that's what you want to do, then fuck it, shit. You know, now if I'm married to somebody, or if I'm in a relationship with somebody,
that's a camera. If that's what you want to do, then
no, but it is. But say for instance, I'm married to somebody, or I'm like in a relationship with somebody, and they say, oh, well, I want to change this over. I have the right to be like, well, you know, I can either say yes, no, or right, or is it right, wrong, indifferent? Like, that gives me the choice, and it doesn't have to be. It does, even if I choose to not participate in that, that doesn't mean that I hate you or anything like that. And that's why I always get on people like, listen, you can do whatever you want. I don't have to like it, but I don't have to. I mean, I don't have to agree with it, but it doesn't mean that I don't respect you as a person. I'm never going to look at you as less than or anything. Like, you are who you are, and that doesn't take away from you as a person. Well, it takes away a little bit as a person if you remove stuff, but, but at the same time, it's just one of the things. Like, nah, like, do what you do, like. But
yeah, man, I'm sorry I got us in this weird culture.
No, I'm cool with it. I tell people all the time, listen, you can ask me a question, I can answer it. You know, and I'm never going to answer it in a way that's demeaning, because that's just not the type of person I am.
Yeah, but you don't know how somebody else is taking it. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, these certain people take this, and because, like, I know I've said stuff that I was like, I don't care who you take to your room. That's you. And it's like, well, I got to take it to my room. Dude, I don't know what you want me to say.
Listen, this is what we talked about earlier. Literally, people find ways to poke holes in what you're saying to say, well, I'm trying to think of something that I said that somebody can find a hole to poke in, and we're like, well, you know, why is it right, wrong, or indifferent? You know, it's like, well, no, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I'm not on a stance to say you shouldn't do this, you should do this. It's the only way to do it. But, you know, I'm just looking at it from a respect thing. Like, nah, dude, you know, I mean, I don't want to get too specific, but I have a family member, and when they get upset, that they look at it as we don't accept who they are. It was like, well, no, we accept who you are. We just don't accept your lying and all the other shit. We don't care about if you identify as a male, female, etc.
That's a redirect, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah, that's a redirect because
Yeah. We don't care about
yeah.
if you want to be a male or female. Like we care about your ass lying all the time, or you know, like that's the shit. Like just making up shit. You know that's the shit that we care about. I care less about what you identify as and da da da. Like shit, you want a motherfucker to call you this and shit. Fuck it, I'm not calling you, but you call yourself whatever the hell you want. You know, but it's just
Your
one of
mama
them
called
things.
you. Your mama called you this. I'm gonna call you this.
Yeah, well, not to that level, because you know, like, because I always think back to Muhammad Ali, right? And you know, and it was just some disrespectful motherfuckers. It was like, no, your name is Cassius Clay.
I'll send it.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just like, you know, because I was watching something and it was saying it was about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Cause you know he kind of went through that too.
Blue Alcindor.
Yeah, he went through that as well. And I'm like, well, hey, if that's what, but the difference is them niggas went through, changed their name, said, hey, look, this is what I'm, you know, this is my government. This is what I want to be identified as, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. People find holes in your argument or in your comments to be like, well, okay, this is why I don't da da da. You know?
So this whole conversation, though, like you know how people go back in the old tweets and
hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Oh.
I'm gonna go grab the charger real quick.
All right, you ain't pause it. You know that, right?
I'm tripping. I'm using the charger as my motherfucking phone charger. My bad.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, you didn't pause it, but
no, I didn't pause. I just remember 2239. But no, I literally but I saw I saw the little thing go across the screen like low battery, your shit about to die soon. But yeah, my bad.
But so like I was saying, the whole thing is like nowadays somebody will go back through this data, somebody go back through this post and be like, oh yeah, you see he wasn't sensitive to the whatever, because like now because it's encapsulated in time, they want to apply this. Like here's the thing, I feel like young people,
you
know, you make a mistake,
cool,
like, you know what I'm saying? But like
fuck that sensitivity, nigga. Like
Kevin Hart got he missed his job. What was that? Hosting the Oscars because of an old tweet. So like sometimes you know it just be stuff that
Kevin stood on it though. Did you watch? Did you watch the documentary? Did you watch that that 5-part documentary that was on Netflix?
No, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, so because the thing was, and this is why I thought Kevin was stupid in that, because he eventually apologized.
Yeah,
but he stood on it so long that it wasn't like, maybe I'm just I get standing on, like if you go stand on it, you got to stand on it, right? And I mean, he lost shit and then apologize. You know what I'm saying? Versus
because I think he didn't want to apologize. Like he didn't want people to like, yo, he only apologized because
but sometimes it's just easier. Because the thing is, he eventually apologized. What I'm saying, like when you get to the point of, like, if he had, I don't know, it, the damage was done, and as in like he did his little media tour. I'm not apologized because I already apologized for this in 2012. Why is it still a thing? You know, versus like, hey, I was wrong. I mean, because the thing, when he wanted to do the Oscars, right? That was literally his a
lifetime dream,
a life goal. Like that's literally like his bucket list thing, and it was ruined. And it's stupid. I mean, it's stupid in our eyes. I would say just from my vision, just because he apologized multiple times for this, but when they wanted him to apologize, he wouldn't do it again. Like he had already apologized for it, and then they wanted him to apologize again. Stuff comes up and blah blah blah. But then the only thing I didn't like from him was he apologized again. Like if I'm not going to apologize, I mean, if I'm going to be stubborn, I'm going to be stubborn. I'm not going to be stubborn to the point of starting to lose. I get it because he was starting to lose endorsements and stuff like that. He was like, well, hey, look, but there was no recovery at that point in time. Like he recovered good, but just because I mean, the only thing you can say about Kevin Hart is that one tweet about him breaking a dollhouse over his son's head and the infidelity that went down in Vegas for him. That's all you can say. Like you can't really say anything else. Like that dude, and Dave Chappelle said it best. He's like, Kevin Hart was most perfect besides 2 tweets. And I was like, damn. Like he literally had 2 bad tweets that didn't resonate within the community or the LGBTQ community. And he was able to recover, but like it still fucked him up. Like he wasn't able to do his lifetime goal because of those 2 tweets.
And I think he didn't want to after that either, right? Because it's like if y'all want to be this short-sighted and whatever. But again, on the other side of that, I think it's like, black people, like white people can't wait to. I'm sorry, a lot of white people can't wait to. A lot of white people can't wait until they show black people are racist. You know what I'm saying? And it's prejudice because we can't be racist. But I don't even want to get into that. Matter of fact, I got to get back to my story.
It's tough to be racist when you're never, because and I'm gonna let you tell your story after this, but it's tough for us to be the idea. That's why I tell people, like, it's a lot of prejudice, but it's not a lot of racist, at least from our side, is because racist is when, and I always define this to people, racist is meant that you're superior to another race and blah blah blah, and you're putting things on them and you're providing your prejudice along with that. Prejudice is just you have a way of thinking about this. I mean, prejudice could be, I don't eat chitlins because they stink or something like. But then prejudice could be all Indian people do is eat Indian food or something like that. Like it could be something to that point. But yeah, go ahead and tell your story.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is happy Black History, because we're in Black History Month, 2016 Black History. 2026 Black History Month. I took us back 10 years.
2016. And look, I would like to go back to 2016. 2016 was I was poor, but 2016 was a good time.
Yeah, I was. But like, so I'm
$38,000 a year, nigga, in Chicago.
2016, I had broke the little.
No, I went down. I took a salary hit in 2015. To 38, I was around 75 or 78 and took the hit to 38.
Dang, that's
only job and people be think, oh man, your life is good. Like, no, my life was like my life is good because I make it good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let money be the driver of my success. Now, granted, I need money to, to get there, and the money is way better now. But at the same time, like at that point, like I was living my life, and this is why I get on, my nephews and stuff like that. I was like, hey, listen, you're only as good as your circle, right? So, and I'm telling them, like, they be like, oh man, I'm trying to, be with this woman. I'm trying to do that. I'm like, yo, be with the woman. That's fine, but just know, there's other women at this level. There's other women at this level. There's other women at this level. Some go with you, and you could be at the 38,000. You could be at the 75,000. You could be at the 150,000. Like, but just note that is levels to this shit. Like, stop falling in love with wrong women. Like y'all be doing dumb shit.
That's kind of about like our topic, like with the being comfortable, and like what does that mean, and how like. because some people haven't identified that they got comfortable, right? And so like I was
sometimes
like,
comfortability is depression, and that's even worse.
yeah.
You
So
don't realize like you're literally depressed and you're okay with what it is because you, like you said, your comfort zone.
Yeah. How do you know you've entered your comfort zone?
I try to stay out of a comfort zone.
Yeah.
I try to be within the comfort zone of, okay, financially things are set, relationship wise things are, you know, good or getting better. Like as long as there's growth, if I don't see growth, and I automatically target that, right? If I don't see growth in anything, then that's when I'm like, okay, this is terrible. You know, because you know, I'll talk to people. I was talking to this guy. I can't remember. Did we talk? I can't remember if we talked about this or not. But about a guy that was looking for jobs, but you know, he wasn't applying.
Like, yeah, he said that there was coming. Yeah, we talked about that on the last podcast.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like how that's a comfort zone. That's I expect this to happen because I pray to God.
Are you diagnosing his comfort zone, or is he?
Oh, he's in it. He's in it. Like I can see people. You know, this is kid, and you know, I want to say a kid, but guy I'm mentoring, and you know, we had these conversations, and I'm talking to him about, and I'm listening and I'm hearing him out, but I was like, well, so why are you with this person, or you really see that this, and then you know, come to talk to him maybe a year later, and like he kind of fell off of, you know, following what he was trying to do. And he's like, oh, well, we moved in together. And I'm like, bro, like, wait, hold on. Like what you was complaining about before, and this has no chance of growing. Now you moved in with that stress or that issue. And like I said, they could have worked, like, I don't have all of the details because like I said, we had like a little time where we weren't, you know, talking, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, like the same things that you was complaining about, you just moved in with it.
Okay. So let me get back to this. So you identify, you saying, so comfort zone.
And we're not going to forget, you said you still got to tell a story. We keep putting that to the back. So I don't want to forget that.
So comfort zone, like knowing that you're in the comfort zone is when you know you're not growing. And so it's got to be some time before you realize that you're not growing, or like how, like, because when I think of the comfort
zones aren't always bad. Comfort zones, like if I get comfortably making $500,000 a year, and so it's tricky, right? So say for instance, comfort, like say if I could get comfortable making $500,000 a year. I could get comfortable in having my mortgage completely paid off, but you got to understand that all of this could be taken away. All of this don't matter. Like we was talking about, like
okay, that's what because like we just talked about the clip, like because you're always feeling like stuff can be taken away. So being comfortable and then being in the comfort zone is two different things, though, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now identifying that you're comfortable and then identifying that you okay being in that comfort zone is, how do you differentiate?
I don't know if I had an answer for that. And I say that like a comfort zone for me is having, I want to say having no issues, but it's being in a space where I know that everything is me being in the comfort zone and making sure everything is in a good space. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't, like, that's a comfort zone for me. Like, but I think that being in a space where things are great versus good is a whole different monster. It's just like I'll give it from the numbers that I said earlier. And these aren't even, like, I can be comfortable making 150, 200,000, but I was uncomfortable making 38,000. But I was in a comfort zone at 38,000, but I was trying to get out of that comfort zone to get to the next number. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, to define the comfort zone for me is when you get to a place and you don't feel like you have to do anything, right? So you get to a place of
That's complacency.
well, it's complacency with like you're not doing bad. You know what I'm saying? So like there is a place where like I could do better, but I don't have to, because if I do better, like my boy, he used to hate, like he was like, man, the next step up, I got to manage people, and I hate managing people. I'd rather manage machines. I can be a manager of machines and things.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
No. You brought up a great point. I was in that exact position where, so you say comfort zone. I was in a position where I was making a certain amount, but it was, if you want to manage people, you could make an extra. I can make an extra 15,000, but I can make that 15,000 up on generating sales. So I was in more of a comfort zone of being able to make 10 to 15,000 less in making those sales versus making 15,000 more salary wise, no sales involved, in managing people. Like I didn't want to manage people at one point in time, and that's where I'm at now. But like managing people, it's definitely a comfort zone to manage yourself more than you manage 6, 10, 15 people. So I totally identify with your boy.
So. Yeah. So like when I think of Aflop or Hoof,
I had a way to be able to compensate for it though. I had a way to still get to that money, the same amount though.
So. If money was what the driver was, if climbing up the corporate ladder, because it depends on your goals, right? So like when you in this comfort zone, your goals are like you okay with the goals that you met, and that's kind of how I identify somebody being in the comfort zone. I can honestly say I've never been in the comfort zone. I can say that I've been comfortable, but never been in the comfort zone, because I have felt like Baruch, where all this stuff can be taken until I solidify. And then the other part of me, like I've been told that, Prince Doves Cry is one of my favorite songs, because, when they said, maybe I'm just like my mother, she's never satisfied. I'm not satisfied with where I'm at, because it's a whole lot of people that look like me. Yeah, but like Jay-Z said, what's better than one billionaire? Two, right?
Yeah. So more out there.
Yeah. So my job is, if I can be exceptionism and I can be Michael Jordan and I can say, hey, look, the NBA, I elevated the NBA, but I didn't elevate other millionaires. I didn't make other millionaires that look like me. Then that to me, that's just, I did my goal, like, and screw everybody else. But my whole thing is like, I can't, like once you get there and there's nobody but you in that room, because even working in technology, man, the hardest part about working in technology is getting there and not seeing nobody from your culture. And then like they doing stupid stuff. Like they was like, hey, we could just split names like Keisha, and like we know that like that's not. And I'm like, hold on, how do you know that? You taking an educated guess of the people you may know or the people you may have experienced in your lifetime, when life is so much bigger than that. My sister's name is Letitia and LaShonda. They have Black orientated names. But then you look at me and my brother, it's Joshua, and Brian. So like how you differentiate us from being a certain culture or whatever, building this software, you know what I'm saying?
You don't. Like, it's prejudice. It's all prejudice. It's all prejudice and race. I mean, it's almost like you talking, going into these rooms and being interviewed. Of course, I get different questions than I would think that other people are getting. I'm getting questions like, say for instance, me being certified. I'm getting questions on. I'm damn near getting test questions on things I'm already certified for, but yet I'm already certified for it. So I'm like. So I'm almost offended that I'm getting these types of questions, but I can answer them. But I'm like, well, why am I getting this question about why is this versus this? You know, and I'm like,
those are competency. Like, do you understand? Like, those are competency, and like sometimes I have to ask. I was like, oh, are we doing that? You know what I'm saying? So like, should I be asking how did this job become a job? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, and it's like sometimes it's like you're asking me like I don't, but sometimes not that my ego drives me at time, but you know, it's sometimes I'm like I'm more comfortable now within my career to say, are we asking definitions or are we trying to figure out if I'm the right person to be in this room? And I'm like, what are we trying to solve? Because I mean, you could ask me the part about definitions, which is kind of annoying to me, is that I can get you the answer if I don't have it right then. You know, so don't disqualify me based off of definitions versus what my experience is. So you're asking me like, what's the difference between this? I'd be like, boom, this is the difference. I didn't impress you. I just answered your question. Now, if you ask me like, what would you do in this scenario? Now I'm like, okay, well, this is my thought process. This is what I would do. This is the way I think. So now you're seeing more of me versus answering the question, because you just answered the question. Then I have nothing, like, it depends on how people weigh on it, but I have nothing to gain from that because I just answered your question. I only met your standard, but you asked me how I like about my experience, and now I have a way to make you think like, okay, this person, I can exceed your expectations, but I can't exceed your expectation if I'm just answering a definition.
Well, you probably exceeding their expectations with the competency stuff too, because they're probably like, oh, this, and see their takes and even that process, like when like me, I know what I know, and once I know it, I'll stand on it, right? Mm-hmm. And so you can't tell me what's like this. The last interview I was on, it was like, what's the difference between require and include? And I'm like, yo, it's the warning that require, you won't get a warning, you'll get a straight up error in the page, and the stuff will stop. Include, you'll get a warning, so it can still execute with an include, right? Mm-hmm. But you're asking questions, and I hate to say it's remedial, but like, do you know who you in the room with? And my
resume showed you who you're in the room with.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't even look at the resume. They get the resume 5 minutes before.
Why the fuck are we talking if you ain't looked at my resume?
Hey man, because you had a whole bunch of stuff to do during your day, and now you just got 5 minutes before they gave you my resume, or you looked at my LinkedIn and you want to know what's going on, right?
So you're finding ways to not include me based off of some ChatGPT questions that you just created. Yes. I mean, I can't say I've never done it, but but I would read through the questions before I even, cause like I wouldn't disqualify anyone because I need to know your experience.
But then we talking about good interviewing techniques, so right. So mm-hmm. Are you looking to just qualify somebody that got you, or are you looking to get somebody to fit your culture, right? And that's
what some people are looking at gotchas.
Yeah, and that's what I was like. So are you the gotcha type, or are you the type to say, hey, I would like to have a great conversation? I would like, even if I don't hire this guy, I would like to have a great conversation. So maybe if I think of something else, we can have a conversation. I mean, like, this is the guy that I would think of, right? But look, you got a lot of people out here interviewing for the gotchas. And
look, one time I was interviewing with this woman, and like we're interviewing the guy. And like I'm talking about like me and my counterpart, Indian woman, and like we're asking the guy I'm asking him more of I'm trying to learn his experience. She's like, well, what would you do in this coding situation? I was like, wait a minute. So you want him to, like, coding isn't like coding can be trial and error. Like, of course, I mean, I'm not asking anybody to write any code in front of me. You know what I'm saying? But she's literally telling him, I'm like, yo, I had to nudge her, like, hey, like, stop, like, you're really trying to get him out of here rather than trying to find a reason to hire him. So it's just little stuff like that I don't abide by, just because I feel like, but it could be based off of experience too, because I feel like I've been pushed out of rooms just based off of, I don't want to say stupid things, but I always say things that you can learn.
Right.
And versus like, I mean, I'm more of a culture person than anything. Of course, I have the knowledge and the expertise, but there's nothing, especially now, there's nothing that you can't find an answer to. If somebody says, "Hey, we need,"
but don't come in an interview with that type of energy. I interviewed with a dude that was like, "Yo, the semantics is nothing. Like, I can do anything." And
no, not that. No. What I'm saying,
I'm telling you, this dude had it. He had it to a point where he was like, "I ain't answering no questions." Like,
you can't be like that. I'm talking about like you see the potential of that person being a good person within your organization, but yet you're ruling them out to say, well, I don't like his coding strategy. Like he codes like this versus the way that we code. And it's like, well, he's not within your organization. Of course, we're all going to do things a little bit differently, but yet that's where it's like, well, does he fit within? And like I said, it was one dude that was just like, he's very similar to what you mentioned. That I'm like, bro, like you're kind of being douchey over this, like that, it all and and you're going to come in and, I mean, he was talking like, we're not going to do that. We're going to come in and change that up. I was like, yo, you are a developer. You're not a PM, PO, or nothing like that. You're not, or a solutions architect or whatever like the title. You're not coming in to update the architecture. You're coming in as a developer to support the existing architecture and then add to it. But so like I said, I get it from both angles, but you just got to be careful of like disregarding someone just because of a question you don't like the way they answered versus like the 9 or 10 other questions that you did they excelled at.
Yeah. And so like I really appreciate it. That's why I'm more of a let's get to know your way of thinking versus let's get to know what you can do. Because like you said, the answers are out there. People can do everything. It's just how do you figure out what to search? Right. You're like, how do you what's your and are you easy?
How do you work with people?
Work with me? Yeah. Do you want to work
like
with
how do you work
with
people? It's like number one. It's like, I mean, when that guy, he was saying, oh, well, I'm gonna do this and blah blah blah. And like almost like it's like, well, why are y'all doing it like that? And I'm like I don't know.
But I have actually said that in the interview too, because like I was like, yo, all of y'all are using the same source code, and like that's
no, that's fine. Like understanding people's structure versus like telling them what they're going to do. Because I mean, say for instance, the last job I was working, I had to explain to them like, yeah, this isn't a 4-month, 3-month thing. This is a 6 to 8 month. It's going to take this time. This is the architect. This is how you should look into it, and this is, I'm going to develop everything based off of that. Now, the way that you're saying, it's not going to happen within that window. Like we can push for that window, but I'm just trying to express to you now, this is a time frame. I mean, I broke it down. I was like this, but that was but I'm saying that's from a architecture or architect PM strategy. I'm telling you how it's going to be set up in the time that it's going to take to get people to adopt what you're trying to get them to transition from. So it's the difference between like a developer saying, well, I'm gonna change your whole structure versus eventually changing the architecture to how businesses operate. So.
Yeah. And see, that's the crazy part, because at the end of the day, like you are interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you.
Oh, definitely.
And if you like, I'm so tired of going in. I call them cleanup jobs, right? where they're like, "Oh, we need help. We got compliances, and we need this and that." Like I've took probably 3 or 4 I took 3 or 4 of those jobs where I've been the cleanup guy. I've been okay. Let me come in, let me see what we got, and this is how I can help you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like my last job, it was only supposed to be 2 months. So I was like, I just worked this 2-month job and get it. But dog, they was jacking it up. When I say jacking it up, I said we was all like we was doing it directory by directory instead of task by task. And then they was trying to upgrade it from one version of PHP to another version of PHP that was just about to get eliminated too. So I was like, yo, what's the point in doing this? It was like, oh, but we're gonna go to another system. But you doing halfway work and paying the whole amount. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, knowing those situations and knowing and like being confident in yourself and knowing the type of work that you can do and have done, I think your confidence speaks up more than anything in your interview. So you can ask the question, yo, are we here to define stuff or are we here to get stuff done? Like
I'm with that. No, I'm with that. The only reason, like, I'm starting to learn now. I'm like, okay, not that I'm just gonna do what y'all say, but it is becoming, I'm starting to notice is probably not necessarily easier to follow this because I'm more worried about how I'm looked at within the organization and how I fit within the culture versus like, because I'm a disruptor. Like I'm meant to be a disruptor, but being a disruptor at times can impact you. Yeah, because because like you said, when I had mentioned that, and I mean, I had a great rapport with the last company I was with, but when I showed them how much work needed to be done versus what can be done within that time frame, it's like, oh well, shoot, we can't extend the contract. Oh, we can't do the contract right now because we don't have the resources to do the things that you're saying needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm like, all right, man.
But part of that is your testament to PMing and like project management, because you're like, yo, you can have these unreasonable expectations, but I'm telling you, when you scope it out, for real, scope it out.
Yeah.
This is what it's going to take because like,
and it fucked me over.
Just but I mean, being the truth teller, being the truth teller, sometimes you do get that, right?
It's fine. Like I said, I learned it, but I still wouldn't do it no other way though. Like I would still explain it the way that I explain it, because the thing is, if I tell them, hey, y'all be able to do this within 3 months, and then we can't do it, who does it fall on? It fall on me.
Yeah, it's still your fault.
So it's like the gift and the curse, but like, I mean, I probably if I had told him the wrong way, I probably could have squeezed another month out of him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it is what it is. I mean, do things the right way and just stand on it from there. Because definitely, I was like, when I told him, I was like, this ain't gonna be able to, like, you need some time with this, because they looked at it as, oh, well, just lift and shift. I'm like, well, this isn't really a lift and shift because they have to adapt to the way that you're doing things within this environment versus this environment. And then you still have to change. You have to take this over from this environment and push it over here. And they may not be comfortable with it over here, or then you still got adjustments internally that you got to make sure what you're taking from here is working for here for your team. So it's just little stuff like that a lot of people don't really like.
What you're saying is workflows are affected. And then to get workflows corrected and respected, because that's the one thing. You can change the workflow and they be mad that you changed it. And then like, so as a developer, like I'm looking at these people and they want export. And I'm like, why are y'all exporting everything to Excel? Oh, because we need this report. Because we need, well, why don't we just create that report for you, right? Versus exporting it and then everybody doing their own thing and then it come back and there's no like we can't verify the math. As long as you can do it on the spreadsheet, I should be able to recreate it. And if it ain't recreated, we can figure out what's the difference is, and then that way we could get these different one-offs or whatever through. But and that's why I pride myself on the work that I do, because that's what because I want to give you the real. Yeah, I want to give you the real versus what. Oh yeah, we get that. Because operating in my own business, and like it was a lot of late nights, early mornings, because while you trying to deliver stuff, you got to make sure it makes sense. And like I remember my first delivery, and I did everything in the requirements, and like they even pointed out, you said, but we don't like the way it's too different than the way that we did it before.
It's user adoption. Like it's a hard thing, man, at times. And I don't want to go down too far in this rabbit hole, but because what was we on comfort zone? But yeah, man, it's like I can make the best thing for you that makes sense, but you may not like it. Like I use the example in interviews. I'm like, yeah, you can put an iPhone in 1987, and yeah, it looks nice, but shit, you ain't got no service to support it. You don't have they don't understand what a phone is.
They don't understand what a swipe is. They don't understand. They don't understand gestures. Like these have been introduced, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But again, it's their comfort zone that makes them not want to. I was like, yo, y'all wanted us to update this so it stay the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, the one thing about technology was just dope is, and this is just being exposed, like technology. I remember when, like you say, when the iPhone, I remember that was like the whole touch screen and stuff like that. And it was Droid too, but I remember the touch screen was being a thing. And I told you I fell down that rabbit hole of watching stuff, that weird things that happen, that you didn't realize that happened. Or like one thing I was looking at was it was 15 or 20 things that you didn't realize went away or was just bad products. And I looked at the McDonald's, I looked at Apple. I didn't realize it was a PDA of an Apple product that came out before the iPhone. Price point $750. And like I said, not being exposed to everything, I didn't realize that was a thing. But when the iPhone came out, the iPhone was, it was a whole different, it was a shift within the cell phone community, blah, 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 because you had, before that, you had your Blackberries, you had, I don't know, Trio, you had all these different types of phones that was coming out. But then like this phone came out and it was, it was kind of a big thing. But I'm saying like other stuff came before it that, that we didn't, like, I wasn't even privy to. Hell, you look at, was the Zoom. I was a big Zoom fan. Microsoft
Zoom versus an iPod.
Nigga, I was huge on the Zoom, nigga. Like the Zoom was like my thing. Like I had two Zooms. But you know what I'm saying, I ended up getting after the second Zoom didn't work out so well. I ended up getting was it not iPhone? What was it back then? The not iPad either. What was the shit?
iPod.
Yeah, iPod. I got the iPod.
Yeah, the wheel with the wheel.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I got the 250 boy, 250 gigabyte boy, and I thought I was a shit because I could put 250 gigabytes of music on the shit, and then it slowly transitioned to the phone. Because they was doing that whole shit with the phone, where with iPhone,
I think that was 250 megs. Because we had a 2 gig was like the big boy at one point. Yeah, because I had a mini. It was 250 gigs. Oh, so
yeah, you must have been. 250 megs only gets you like at most like 100 songs. Nah, it was that, because you remember they had the it was the Nano. The Nano was smaller and that had 8 to 16. That was a smaller version of the iPhone or the iPad or iPod, whatever. But then the 250 gig, I think it went all the way up to 500 gigs. Let me double check. But I want to say it was 250 gigs because it definitely I had a lot of, because I had all my music from DJing on my iPod.
Yeah, because I got the iPod Classic, because that was a big one, and that was 120 gigabytes.
So the Classic, was it was the 250, and then it got up to I want to say it only.
Yeah, they got up to a 120. That's what it was. Because
yeah.
No,
I was definitely
because my
all
other
that
ones
being
were
said,
4 gigs. Because like
Mhm.
I was like, dang, I got 4 gigs. Because that was back in the time where you ain't have a lot of this stuff.
But shoot, that was like I said, that was on my Nano. Like and it's funny too. I need to throw that shit away. But I still got my Nano that I refuse to throw away.
I still got my
Somewhere in,
iPod Touch and my iPod Mini. I had a Mini too, the blue.
I need to get
Because
rid of
they
that shit.
came
That
up
shit
with
is
the.
not.
Why? It still
What do I
works.
need it for?
It still works, don't it?
So what? Like I'm not using it.
Yeah, I still got
this.
MP3s on my. I still got MP3s on mine that I probably haven't.
But you're never gonna listen to them.
I listen to my MP3s, like
No, you don't listen to that.
I made
You don't listen to the source, is what I'm saying. Look, I'll give you a prime example of not getting rid of something. I have a 2007 MacBook Pro. It's the first MacBook Pro I've ever bought. And that was the first one I started DJing with outside of my I had a Dell before that. But it's downstairs on a shelf. Not even workable. But I'm gonna throw it away. I need to throw it away. This shit's just literally just sitting down there on the shelf for no reason. The hard drive, not hard drive, but the battery pack exploded. So it's sitting down there. I'm gonna break it to the next podcast, but it's literally sitting down there without a battery pack. It's just sitting on the shelf. And I expanded it fully to 16 gigs of RAM. I put in my own hard drive just because their hard drive space for Apple was terrible at that point in time. But yeah, man, I need to throw that shit away. I need to throw that away. I need to throw that iPod Mini away. I looked it up. Yeah, it was 250 gigs. It said it got up to the iPod Classic got up to 2 terabytes. Whatever.
It did?
Yep. So hey, look, it's crazy. Somebody's still selling it. Like it's a self-generation. I'm looking on eBay right now. That shit is a self-generated. But yeah, they had 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, 1 terabyte, 512, 256, 160, and 120.
That's more than their phones got now.
I mean, that's what Apple do, man.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? That's more than what they got. Because that's
listen, Apple used to be on some fuck shit. That's why I had that, was because when I got my first iPhone, I got my first iPhone when I was working for a company, and it was an iPhone 4. And I just remember,
16 gigabytes.
8.
It was 8?
8 gigabytes.
The iPhone, because I bought an iPhone 4S for my daughter, because I was like, it was 16.
Yep, I had an 8 gig. That was the first iPhone I've ever had. Then I ended up getting, like, I switched. That was because only reason I switched off of BlackBerry was because they discontinued it. Only reason. Like, I would still have a BlackBerry to this day if it wasn't discontinued. I fucks with the BlackBerry was my shit. Like, the Trio was my shit too, but the BlackBerry, once that came out, I was like, "Ooh, we got a whole ass keyboard and shit." Like, that was my shit forever until them niggas said no. And then the bullshit, and this is where they tell you, somebody beat you to market and you can't survive. BlackBerry came out with a touch screen.
Yeah, they came out with a touch screen, but it was like 3 years too late. Like,
Yep, you got beat the market. Like, so I get the competitive part of that. Like yeah, they had a worthy.
I was an iPhone hater.
Yeah,
I was an iPhone hater. I bought everything that was like the iPhone killer. Like, so I had like the Sprint, because iPhone was only on AT&T for a while, but I actually had a 3G, and then that's when I started hating on Apple. I was like, yo, y'all act like these phones is dope, but like y'all limited, like with the hardware and everything.
That's the bullshit. That's why I didn't like you talking about the hard drive space and stuff like that. That annoyed the fuck out of me. That's why I had my Classic for so long, my iPod.
Oh shoot, that's what it was. The Sprint Instinct, the iPhone killer. That's what it was marketed as, the iPhone killer. And I had that mug. I bought that mug.
I had a Zune. Nigga, I had 2 Zunes. Nigga, I was zoomed out,
well,
nigga.
see, I had to be, and then right when the iPhone had came out, for real, I had a pocket PC that I spent $700 on, and that mug was the Windows Phone with the shift up. I still got it because I ain't throwing it away.
I throw that shit away, man.
Nah, man, it got a remote in it, so I could use it to remote my TV and everything. But the battery probably ain't. And then they still need props for movies like back in my day.
Nigga, if you ain't making no movie tomorrow, nigga, throw that shit away, nigga.
I still got my Nokia. I think I still got my Nokia from when we really started having cell phones, like in 97, 98.
Look, the only thing I suggest to keep around, if anything, is video games.
And they small. It wasn't like they take up more than a drawer size. Yeah.
But you got so many of them. It's just like ridiculous. I know. Look, I go through my stuff, and I'm so like I got all these CDs and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, I spent my money on this. I don't want it, and that shit is just literally in a room. And I did good. I gave over half my records away to my nephew and to my chiropractor. Because they wanted records, and I was like,
They wanted that vinyl,
yeah. I was like, I'm not using it; it's just sitting down there, but I still have a lot of records that and I don't know why I was trying to separate them. I need to make this a task again, but I was trying to separate them on records that I would still play, and I wanted to keep no more than 4 crates, and I got maybe about.
Do you still have a record player?
Yeah, I still got my turntables. Yeah,
okay. So you still got the turntables and the coffin?
Mm-hmm. I need to get rid of that. The coffin is in storage.
Man, I
just bought that coffin maybe about 4 years ago, and I was like, you know what? I need to combine stuff and not have all this stuff. And I bought the coffin. Actually, it was longer than that. Maybe about 6 years ago. But I bought the coffin just so it'd be easier for me to move stuff around. And then I bought the controller in 2021. I'm like, man, I'm tired of carrying around. Like, this shit getting heavy. Like, I'm tired of carrying all this stuff around. And it was like flying and stuff like that. Like, I've flown with my controller.
With the coffin?
No, I can't fly. The coffin is unflyable.
They got golf clubs. So the coffin, like my coffin was probably about 8 feet. That's dang.
That shit is. But
it's
you
like
paying for it.
Yeah.
Shit, but I'm saying like I got independent cases too, but like I ended up
you got your turntables crated. You got the snap shut turntables with the click.
So I got 2 of them. So I got the coffin and I got those. I had to so when I used to like if I fly. But the thing was, I tried not to fly because that shit was like an additional $50 for each coffin. I mean, each turntable. Within that container.
Each equipment, yeah.
Oh
wait, so but if you had the coffin, you ain't had the custom coffin. You ain't had the custom coffin. Coffin. Where?
No, I have a full coffin down there. Like I literally have a full coffin in the storage room. That hasn't been used in like 5 or 6 or 6 or 7 years.
So you had the soft velvet in there, so when you close it, it kept everything together, or how like?
Yeah, I got that what you call it the foam shit that keeps everything in place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So no, I got that, but I mean, nigga, I need to sell that shit.
Yeah,
that shit is sitting in my storage room, and I'm not using that at all. Like
that's when you knew you was a real DJ when you had a coffin, because I think I paid like $300 for it.
I paid $300. I paid $350. Yeah, $300, $350, something like that.
$350. Yeah. Because I remember when I first got one. That was in the mid '90s, and I was
I thought I was so cool that I got. Look, I thought I was so cool because I had like I said, I had the independent cases, little gold cases. Or that with my turntables in, and then I had the case for my mixer too.
You had the Tectonic 1200s?
Yeah, Technique 1200. Yep.
Yeah, Technique.
Yeah, they down there. They down in the basement. Just chilling.
Man, that's nostalgia for me because I remember getting down there and like and just mixing and being like, "Yo, I'm smooth. I'm good." Like
no, the Technique 1200s. It was like but I will say this. I probably won't ever let those go.
$600 a piece, right?
Still, like they actually have more value to them now than what and like I said, I it's not value if it's just sitting in the fucking basement. But at the same time,
they're still assets. So yeah.
Man, let that shit go, nigga. That shit happened with me with shoes and shit, nigga. Like shoes get old and shit start happening. Like now I gotta, I done had my soles fall off of shoes because I done sat around on them for so long. And that's why I was like, man, I try to, even the pie, man, I try to wear like a different pair of shoes each. I'm like, man, listen, if I'm gonna wear them, at least I'm wearing them in the house or something, just to make sure that I'm wearing. Because like I said, the soles is that shit gets old and falls apart.
Yeah, they get dry rotted, and then like especially if you got moisture. But I still got shoes that's just in the box. I ain't never touched.
And I got to get out. Look, nigga, it's shoes in every single closet of my house.
Yeah, nigga, and drawers. That nigga got a drawer of shoes. He was like, "Hey, you ain't got no hot bottoms? And check this out." Damn. Brown, black, brownish, browner.
No, man, it's just one of the things. Like it's like you can call it hoarding, you can call it whatever, but that's just one of the things that I remember growing up, and that was just a part of like. I mean, I remember looking at the East Bay magazine, like, damn, I can't wait till I can order from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I remember I ordered my first pair of shoes, and I ordered a pair of K-Swiss, and nigga, like, I was so excited about it. Like, I still when I see that shoe released, because it wasn't like that the one that everybody was wearing and shit like back in the day that was kind of like Air Force Ones. It was this one. It's called K-Swiss Gstaad, and every time it's like Gstaad, and every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I should get a pair just because of that. I mean, but it's little things that tie me to that. It's just like I tell you, like even with you having the Jordan 5s, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like, damn, I remember you came to basketball practice in those in 8th grade. I was like, damn, those are so dope. You know what I'm saying? But so I never was able. So whenever I see Jordan 5s, I tend to like get it. Like if it's the right colorway, I get a lot of them. And the same thing like with Jordan 6s, the Jordan 6s that just came out like a couple weeks ago. Like shoot, I hit on a. Mind you, I'm not working, and I hit on a raffle.
Lottery,
Look, I hit on a raffle, and
that's a lottery, right? Nike lottery.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, and I had people get into the raffles for me, and I was like, shit. I was like, I didn't hit on like a couple. I mean, on 3 pair. I was like, fuck, dog. I was like, I don't need 3 pairs. So, but then I was like, well, shoot, I'm gonna take this other pair back too, and I just have one. I think I got 2 pair now. But that's literally one of my favorite shoes because I wasn't able to like
which
the
one?
Jordan 6.
Oh,
yeah, the black.
Right.
No, they ain't there. But no, it's literally one of my like because that was the first one I got because y'all had the Jordan.
They're like $300
had
now.
Jordan 5s, huh?
Yeah, you got they like $300 though now, right?
Nah, like $230. So you hear, lady? Can you hear the howling?
Yeah, I can hear her. You gotta go outside.
Nah, siren going by, whatever. It's funny because she's in the far. You remember how my house is set up? She's in the far, like the bonus room, and I'm on the other side of the house and shit. Her ass is fucking howling. But yeah, the Jordan 6, man, that was the first one I got in 9th grade. That's why I was asking somebody. I can't remember who it was because I was trying to go see Bunker, but I was trying to go see if we can see them the little booklets of us like when we hoop because it's a picture in there because I got on the Jordan 6 Carmines, the white, red, and black ones, the one with the red suede on them. And I always wanted that picture, but I don't even know, can niggas even go in Bunker anymore and shit? Because like, it changed, right?
Bunker is a school, right? So they did move the gym and everything around. So they got office where the old band room used to be. Like the whole back end of the school is different now. So it's.
Do they still have our pictures up?
No, no.
You remember we, at the end of the hoop season in 9th grade, we took a picture.
Matter of fact, I will ask because I know the principals and stuff back at home. Okay. So I asked.
No, if you could go and get a picture, because I was snapping pictures while we was at Muskegon.
Muskegon, Yeah.
Those pictures are still up. Cause like that's crazy that they haven't changed none of that, which is dope. But but I just want that one night.
Those are the archives. So like that's where
because we should have a ninth. I don't know if we did a 7th grade picture, but we should at least have an 8th grade and the 9th grade picture of us hooping. Because I remember it was who was our coach? White dude ended up coaching
Mr.
JV.
Mr. Kanar was our 9th grade coach. And then
so who's our 8th grade? So our 8th grade ended up coaching JV and Muskegon.
Yeah. What was his name?
Starts with an M. I can't think of his name. Mikhail. Starts with an M. Myers. I can't remember.
Was it McKinney?
I know it's a white dude wore glasses. I just can't think of his name right now. But I remember he ended up coaching JV,
and that's when I got cut. Yeah.
Yep, same. Yep. So fuck nigga. Some bullshit, nigga.
You know, that's
busting our ass in that motherfucking practice and shit.
Beating all them cats. And like I told, I was like, yo, y'all wouldn't, because the thing
I didn't have favoritisms. You know,
I had hoop with the cats that went to Steel. Like I had went to Steel. I started Steel in the beginning of the 7th and beginning of the 9th. Same with my dad. But you know, it's all.
They had favoritisms, man.
But see, then now that gets me to my next question, Sean. As you grew up, what movies do you think? What movies remind you of your growing? Yeah. What? Let me ask you the question like this: what movie would you recommend somebody to watch to get to know your experience,
or like who I am as a person?
Like what you went through. Like, what's a good coming of age story for movie for a Black man?
It's tricky because I have several, and the only reason I say it's tricky is because what you got from it versus it being a comedy or blah blah blah. But Boys in the Hood definitely is like the one where I feel like I like not necessarily, you know, the violence or anything like that was going on with it, but I really feel like that movie shows a lot of my personality, I guess, kind of like with Trey, of you know, of his, you know, his upbringing. But then I would say Raw, Eddie Murphy is like, I damn near look at that movie as, or stand up as the Bible of how I learned. Yeah, listen, that movie, if you go back and watch it, that movie talked about sexuality. It talked about how he grew up within the family, his place in the family, not necessarily money, but like literally that movie is one of those, like, I sit there and just, if it's on at any time, I'll just sit there and just watch it. You know, if I see it pop up on Netflix, I would just sit there and watch it every single time.
So Shante, that's another question that I think we need to answer on the podcast, is that what was your position in the family? Like, to me, you're the only boy. Like, and you, like me, I don't know, whole brothers and sisters. Like, you know how some people look at that and I'll be like, yo, all right, my sisters and my brother are my whole brothers and sisters because that's who I grew up with. Like, what part of your family do you feel like you played with?
I think so. I'll just contrast between me and you, and then I'll just kind of focus on me. But I would say that I feel like we were the same but different. And I say that because you're the second of 4. Yep. And I'm the last of 3.
The baby of 3. Yep.
Yeah. So I feel like you were more mature than me at a younger age, whereas I was more of I learned from my sister's mistakes to be better at being bad and being good. so in a sense that I wasn't necessarily mischievous or anything like that. I do have certain principles that I that I abide by, and that's just, religion, faith, and etc. But I played the part of, as you mentioned, the baby. Like I never really, I never. I mean, I was protective of my sisters, but they were so far, like they were so different in age.
Groaner, yeah.
Like 6-7 years older than me, that it was they were almost, I want to say like adults to me, but
surrogate parents, like they're surrogate mother.
So it was kind of like I didn't really gravitate, like I gravitated like Tina. It was tougher for me because Tina was the disciplinarian in the house, which didn't sit well with me. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Tammy was Tammy, so it was kind of like I gravitated more towards Tammy than I did Tina when I was younger, only because Tina was the one that was giving whoopings and stuff like that. But
see, and then your mom worked second shift, and so your sisters stepped up and was there when your mom wasn't, because she worked second shift most of the time, right?
Yeah, so I would say that made it, a little bit difficult for me to identify with them as much. So that's why I gravitated more towards you, because you were of the same age and we had like the same likes and blah blah blah. So it's like, well, Brian sells candy. Okay, how can I get money to be able to make money as well? It's like, okay, well, you're able to get the paper out, so it's always kind of like the like you were more like not necessarily a big brother, but you was the influence that I'm like, okay, well, he's getting it like this. I don't necessarily want to, steal his clientele for candy. So hey, I'll deliver papers, you know what I'm saying? Or I have a way to get money, So, but within the family structure, it was like I've always had, I like me and like say for instance, Tone, right? Tone is 8 years younger than me. Tina is 7 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? But it was told to me I couldn't discipline Tone, but Tina disciplined me. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, damn, and it's like an even bigger age, not that much, but even bigger age gap between me and Tone than it is of Tina. So then that's where it's kind of like, well, if I can't discipline him, you can't discipline me. And that's kind of where so it was always kind of within the household, okay, just be, and then too, added, we had a family structure that was very balanced. And I say that as in, you had Uncle Charles, Uncle Mark, Uncle Charles, Uncle Mark, Uncle Joey, and then you had, Aunt Alice, Aunt Shirley, and all of, Aunt Desi too, and but we had a family structure that we were kind of around that same age as far as children. So, like with you being right across the alley, it was definitely easier to identify with you. But you say Shirley, stay over here. Then I mean,
in the Heights,
so
Orchard,
But remember Shirley used to stay
on Orchard, right by that.
Right no, not then. I'm talking about she used to stay
in the neighborhood. On
Monroe or
Merle.
Yeah. So it was kind of like we were always, around each other as kids. So it wasn't like I'm not, like Ray is 2 years older than me. Carlitos, I think 3 or 4 years older than me. Tari is 2 years younger. LS is like maybe 6 years younger. So he was closer to Tone than he was, so we always had that kind of that. And then Uncle Joey, so then you had Uncle Joey, Idris, and Alondra. Alondra is what? She 1 year older than us?
Like 8 months.
So and then you have Idris, that's what, 2-3 years older than us. So it's kind of like we've always been in a, and then grandma was right, so and grandma, Uncle Mark stayed at her house, Uncle Charles stayed at her house. Like, so it was always a strong family dynamic that,
and we could go over grandma's house and stay together, and like she didn't care, right?
And that's what I was like, because I hate that I'm so territorial now, but and not necessarily territorial, but like you got to call me before you come, what I'm saying, type of stuff. But what I'm saying, like it would be literally a time. I remember one time I walked out to grandma's house with my Nintendo, and I stayed at her house for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't planned, no nothing. Like I literally just walked. And this is she stayed on Glendale. That wasn't like a easy kid walk, you know? Like that was yeah. So I mean, but it was just one of the things. Like she was just always, you know, having that welcoming part of her.
And we'll feed you, and then trip about feeding.
Shoot, you come here, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. What groceries did you buy? You know, so and like I said, I'm not like it's funny how it works. Like I'm very protective in the before it happens, but while it's happening, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute, just let me know you coming in time. But like while you here, I'm like, oh man, whatever, do it, you know. But I like before, I'm like, let's be cautious. Let's know what we gonna do, you know, because I'm always looking at it from a money standpoint. I'm like, you gonna want to go to dinner, you gonna want to go to breakfast, lunch.
That's the crazy part because like back in the day, like I couldn't really have people spend the night because like the family structure, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to ask you about it, because I was the man of the house, right?
Yeah.
And because I had my mom who 15 years older than me, my sister was a year older than me, 15 months older than me. And so we all had to work together and all had to play a part. Now, when I asked like that position that I play, I've been the man of the house for my whole life. So it's easier for me to tell people what it is and what it's going to be, right? Because like they gave me that role. Like my job was to take out the trash. I still had to cut the grass and wash the dishes, but I still had those those jobs. Wash the car. My mom would be like, yo, wash the car. You the boy, you can wash the car. So like it always the music like to be, and then like when people was like, yo, go to the door, they would ask the man of the house to go to the door, right? So like I'm like, yeah, I'm the man, but I'm not.
Yeah, you might get shot.
Right. They're like, what?
But a bullet has no gender.
Do I just lay down?
An ass whooping has no gender. Get the fuck out of here. Like, no, we can all go to the door and answer this door. Like, it doesn't. It could be a grown ass man coming to the house. What the hell am I gonna do? Like, nigga, I am a child. I am not going to do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I know a lot of that kind of took me out the house more too, because I was like, look, that's a lot of stuff to do. And I still like I had friends and places I could go be, but at the same time, like I knew when I said grandma would let us eat, there was some of our friends that couldn't afford to feed us. You know what I'm saying? So like I get that. So I would never eat over their house or nothing like that. But like I just wondered, like, because we talk about like the growing of age type movies, and I think about how we grew up, how we was able to go over our grandma's house. Like we just go over there and stay because we ain't have all these restrictions that we got over here. You know what I'm saying? So
I was mad at Uncle Joey when he moved into grandma's house on Glendale. I was pissed. I was like, this nigga took away my basement space. Like that nigga, like that basement was like it was nothing in that basement. I remember that house used to be totally empty. I think Jerome stayed there for a minute. Jerome definitely stayed at the other house, but he stayed there for a minute. Then he graduated. But I remember that basement. I would bring my Nintendo and like had a TV and just like we were simple back then. Like it was just literally video games, and you didn't have to worry about nothing. Like if the video game was hooked up, if I had Super Mario 3, nigga, like it's like you didn't have to worry about seeing me for like hours.
Yeah,
but not being that same spot. I remember staying in spot. We was playing Castlevania in motherfucking and Mike Tyson Punch Out. Like nigga, like we stayed up to damn near 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning playing Castlevania because we couldn't get past this one part. I remember that shit.
And the reason why we did that is because we used to go by Hicks' house, right? And Hicks, like, because he had all the games and everything, and like he had Castlevania first. And like I remember going over there before school to walk with this nigga, and like we play video games, and then that nigga.
Pro wrestling like a mud. That nigga ended up not letting us. I was like, damn, nigga, we can't play pro wrestling no more.
Yeah,
like, that was shit.
Yeah. So, but then that made me feel like when I become an adult, like my kids would be able to have games that they could play and stuff, because like that was a big part of my life. Like I used to trade games to get me like double dribble was the standard, right? And like if you got that game, you could get 2 games for one. And man, I remember starting with one game. It was the night game. It was a night game on Nintendo. Because I had bought it, and I didn't even have a Nintendo. And I remember trading up to having like all together on Nintendo. I had like 30 some games, and I was all through trading. So I was like, "Oh, this stuff could be done." The hustle was real, and everybody.
No, but look at it like this though. Back then, we didn't like after we beat the game, we didn't care to play it no more. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, I mean,
besides Super Mario.
Yeah. Super Mario was always fun. Yeah, Super Mario and Mike Tyson Punch Out. That was the one because I remember finally beating Tyson. I remember that was a long night, but finally beating Tyson, and that shit was fucking like. Because I remember, was it Nintendo Power and shit? I remember when they first put the code in there and shit, the 007-373-5963. Like, I remember that code was in that magazine. And dog, you know what's crazy? Nintendo Power they're worth like a lot of money. Like if you got like originals, even if they got like edges ripped and stuff like that, they are worth a lot of money. But I remember that code being in the Nintendo Power, and we was playing it, and we was still getting the ass beat because it was motherfucking Mike Tyson, and that motherfucker started doing them terrible ass uppercuts at like 30 seconds. Like the uppercuts was terrible. Look, I still remember like this is where when you train your mind a certain way to think, right? Like I still remember like how to strategically beat that game. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Like my timing on that, like this is where, you know, muscle memory, stuff like that. Like I can literally tell you how to beat that game. At least I can say I can remember the first round, you know, because you know uppercuts.
Ball Bill, beat Ball
Bill. No,
because
you know the uppercuts will start around 30 seconds, but then they'll stop maybe around like a minute and 30. Then he'll start doing these little side punches, which you can dodge, whatever. Now you got a chance, but then the whole ass nigga will come back the second round and he'll start doing those side punches, but then he'll start doing then he'll tap his feet and do the uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was kind of like I still like once it's like I said, the muscle memory. If I play the game like maybe 5 or 6 times, like now I can damn near beat the nigga. But like we used to be up
man, because remember it was like, yo, you got to go left, and then right, like because like tap,
and then the uppercut stopped having as much as an impact when you get to the second round, you know, because that first round, them uppercuts will lay your ass.
That was half your energy right there. You get caught with one.
No, that was all. You got knocked the fuck out. Yeah, you got knocked the fuck out. Like literally, that motherfucker would TKO.
No, I'm saying when because like you would say, like if you would not get hit, you have all your energy. I thought it was one, like it'd be like most of your energy with the one, and then like next time,
that's all.
Yeah,
nigga, I played that shit 2 months ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got it on the Wii. I got it. So I got it on the Wii. But then if you play, because they had to change the name of it. If you play, it's not called.
I thought it was just Punch Out.
Yeah, Punch Out. If you play Punch Out, I think it's just called Super Punch Out.
Okay.
But if you play that on the Super Nintendo, because they have him on there as well, but it's just a white dude now, you know, because they couldn't get the license in for Mike Tyson. And I always meant to look that up to figure out why they couldn't, why you can't use Mike Tyson, because it's got to be something like, and I think part of it was the whole rape case, but yeah, he would literally do the same thing to you.
Yeah, the crazy part about that too is that like I remember what we used to do to those cartridges, blowing them.
Yeah. Dog, you know,
sliding them in. So and dog, all it was a memory stick in that big ass cartridge, right? And you like, yo, like.
But why do we have to? I don't get it. Like every other system, we didn't have to do that for. Outside
it was connections and
because you didn't have to do that for Sega Genesis, you didn't have to do that for Super Nintendo, you didn't have to do that for any.
But the Sega Genesis, you could definitely tell that they learned because they put. So when you put the Sega Genesis in, it used to like.
The connections are a lot better, like because that shit you had to push in, and then I remember we used to be like doing like damn it like a clit and shit, like make sure they go up and down and shit, flicking that motherfucker until that and you're like, oh, this gonna work, you know, putting the shit in freezers and shit. Like we used to do a lot of shit, man.
Like, put it in the freezer. I was like, you can put it in the freezer at work. Yeah, put it in the freezer.
Yeah, nigga,
Put
we had
batteries in the freezer. Yeah,
nigga, we had the alcohol swabs on the like. Then I remember buying a Nintendo cleaning kit, and that shit was nothing but alcohol swabs.
Yeah.
That is bullshit. I literally could just use the same swabs of alcohol that I have in the or mine's have in the bathroom and shit. But nah, man, that was a time, man. But now I got all video games that matter on the Wii. And then I have a regular controller that of course the Nintendo only had was it two buttons? Yeah, so in the Super Nintendo had 4. But I have a Super Nintendo controller that you can use for the Nintendo. You just got to use the top 2 instead of the 4, whatever. But nah, nigga, I was playing Ring King, nigga. Like that shit was fun. Like, dog, next time you come into town, like, nigga, I'm gonna pull that shit up and nigga, I'm hooking that shit up upstairs today. Like, nigga, I literally got because it's like all the Nintendo shit, but I literally got the Ring King on there, and that shit fun as shit.
Man, I ain't played Ring King and since that was what, junior high too?
Damn, nigga, I played Ring King last year. Yeah, Ring King. Yeah, that shit. I gotta make sure it still works because I had Mike mod my Wii to play the Nintendo games, but I'm trying to think if I still have the USB stick in the back because it was Mike Moore.
Oh, Mike Moore was into it.
Yeah, Mike is like I have to explain it to Mike. Like sometimes I'm like, bro, I don't need everything. I just need Super Mario 1, maybe 2, definitely Super Mario 3, Ring King, Double Dribble, I said Ring King, Castlevania, maybe Zelda, but I'm not like
Zelda took too long.
Like I literally, like people are like, oh, would you look up something? Like, hell yeah, I look up everything on Zelda. Like Zelda is like you can't find things in Zelda on your
without
own.
Yeah.
Like that's literally a game where it's not like the joystick rumbles or like you literally gotta. It's like, oh well, go pull up 7 bushes north or west, and pull up left. 7 bushes north, and then you'll find the key. Like, how in the hell I'm supposed to know that the key?
Because I bought a magazine to beat that the World of Zelda. I think was the World of Zelda 2 or and I was like, I don't even buy magazines, but I remember going out to the magazine shop and the hikes and doing it.
I can literally tell you that's the one game because I used to have it where I wanted to beat every game that I played on my system, and that's the one game that I didn't beat on no Nintendo. I mean, I beat it on like the Wii and having like looking up YouTube or whatever or looking up walkthroughs. But nigga, that was one game that I was not like. We would play Castlevania forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we would eventually, I think it's like 5 levels or something like that. Then you get to the 5th one and you're this part of the castle, all that shit. But the thing that sucked about those games was if you died, kind of like was it Shinobi? Shinobi used to piss me the fuck off because
all the way back to the beginning.
Nigga, because it was like maybe 4 boards. And
that's
like
it?
So you no, I'm talking about like each level. So it was like so like you get through one board, now you at 1, 2. Then you get through, then you be at 1, 3. And then but if you died in 1, 3, you had to go all the way back to 1,
1. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was shit that annoyed me the fuck out of Shinobi. But nah, man, it like that. I gotta see if it still should work. Cause like I said, I was playing Mike Tyson maybe a couple months ago. But yeah, man, that shit is like you'll never get that again. We'll never have that part, that understanding in life. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? The crazy part about that, and I'm gonna take it back to the Brazen. It's like I remember my mom saying, "You're not gonna be on that video game all day. You got to go outside, right?" Mm-hmm. And then I remember my mom saying, "You're not gonna run the streets all day. You're gonna be in this house." And I was like, "Dang, I can't win for losing." Right? And I said, "I might as well be out and not, and not be in the house while you calling me, asking me to do dumb stuff like change the channel." You know what I'm saying? So
hold on a second. Let me why is that a thing? Why is it that we can't be doing nothing? I feel like it's a psychological thing, in my opinion. I feel like, and like I said, I mean, we don't have the answers because they won't tell us because whatever. But the fact that if you're not doing anything, they would call you to do something. Like, why is that a thing? Why is that a
I think they was preparing us for work. Like, you know, like if you ain't got nothing to do at work, look busy. Because God,
I never even thought about it that way. That's a fair point.
I just don't know why it's always been, if I'm content, why do you want to break up my contentness, right? like I ain't bothering you. And it seemed like, oh, you can't be happy over there. Let's give him something to do. So yeah.
This is where comfort zones started to be disrupted.
That's why I say, man, that was just like my mother.
Like, to circle back to the whole thing, comfort zone, like, because it's just like, it's okay to, you know, play Super Mario, like, because I'm like, I tell people, like, I use video games not as a sense of therapy, but just of a way, like an escape. Like, I'm playing because I mean, video games, in my opinion, at least for me, they can fuck with your emotions. and it's like you get frustrated. Like, dog, I remember like recently, nigga, I was playing I got the Switch too. I was playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, and there was a part on there that I didn't play the video game for a month. Because
you got that mad? You got that big mad?
Dog, so I'm gonna give you the scenario, right? So once you beat the game, or like, cause it's a certain amount of stuff that you can collect, then you beat the game. Now you're doing the extra stuff to get all of the things that are a part of the game. Like, say for instance, I'll say bananas, right? So say for instance, there's like, when you beat the game, you probably beat the game at like maybe 300, 400 bananas, but there's 777 bananas to collect total. So then now it's like, well, to get the value of the game, even if you beat it, it's like, well, I want to go through and get all the bananas and figure out all of the stages that I didn't do before I beat the game. So it's just one stage. And what they like, and it's a stage that it's a culmination of like, they put 6 or 7 stages into one. And this is very similar to Shinobi, where when you get to the 6th stage, I mean, to get through the 6 stages, if you get to the 5th stage and you fall, or you don't, because it's all timed, right? So if you get to the 5th stage and you don't beat the time, then you got to go all the way back to 1. And doing that shit, it's like, you can't pause it, you can't save it. You literally got to start from 1 to 6. So it's no, like, that's the most annoying. So I didn't do that shit for a month. I was like, man, fuck this game.
So when you gotta play, you gotta have time to play it then too. Cause like,
No, but it's not a time consuming stage. It's a time consuming stage when you can't beat it. It's like if I'm sitting up here, I would say at most, like, it's 30-second stages, and you got to do all of these things within 30 seconds for 6 stages. So it's probably, what's that? 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know, you could beat it within 3 minutes, but when you keep failing at it, you could be playing it for 6 hours. But you don't get anywhere because you still got to start over from the beginning, is what I'm saying. So starting over from the beginning is that I was like, bro, I did that shit for probably about 2 or 3 days straight. Mm-hmm. Man, fuck this game. I went back, and mind you, I went and looked at. I was like, okay, how did they do it? Because I was like, yo, it's not as if I suck at it. It's just I might suck at stage 3 today, so I can't get to stage 4 and 5 or 6, which are easier. Or I suck at stage 4 today, so I can't get to 5 and 6, or I suck at, or I suck at stage 6. But I did great on stage 1 through 5. Then now, but the sucky part is when you start sucking at the other stages, even though you was able to whip through it initially. So I got through 1 through 5, and I was like, oh man, cool, I'm about to kill 6. Then I fuck up on 6.
And back down to 1. And now you're messing up
now
on
I'm
3.
sucking on stage 2.
Yeah.
Then I'm getting frustrated with stage 2 and stage 3 because I can't get, it's stuff like that fucks with you mentally. But now I use it as a way of escaping and just sitting back and relaxing and not having anything to do. It just depends on, the type of game.
It's a way to relax your mind and focus your mind on something else after and you can sit down and focus on it. I haven't played video games a lot lately because I be focused on other stuff and all the other stuff.
Video game in every room.
That's wild. That's
wild. I literally. So I got I got the 64, the Super Nintendo, and the regular Nintendo in the one room. Then I have the PS5 and the Switch in the other room. Then I have, or in like the big TV room. Then I have the Switch 2 in my bedroom. Then I have the Wii in the guest room. And I still have, I still have a PS4, a PS2, PS1, a Dreamcast.
You still got the PS1?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dreamcast. Okay. I'm missing. Only systems I don't have are Sega systems. And even that, I have the Sega DLC on my Switch. So I just play those from there. So,
I remember the Dreamcast. Oh, shoot. Getting back to my point, because we get a long time. The story that I was telling you. So I went to Istanbul, went to talk to the neurologist. The neurologist said, hey, we worried about your kidney because you got a 1.2 something, and 1.3 is a concerning point, right? So he said, hey, your urine test came back good, your blood test come back good, besides your cholesterol and your creatine. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. Carotene, something like that. And he said, so he asked me, he said, hey, where you from? I said, I'm from USA. And he said, then he gave me the look. I said, I'm from Muskegon, Michigan, right? So I don't know what else you want me to say. And then he said, oh, America? Yeah, I thought USA covered that, right? He's like, hold on one second. He said, so you African American? I said, I'm black, but that's what people call it. You can call me black. He said, nah, we don't do that around here. This is
No, because I don't identify as African American either. So I was like, we got 140. I could see 140. 140. No, I don't identify as African American either, just because they don't fuck with us. But anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. I'm like, he's like, no, we respectful here, right? And my translator's like, yeah, no, we respectful. And I was like, black is being respectful to me, like, because a South African might not be a South African American is still African American, right? So how did that fly? But I say that to say that I was like, yo, we have Black History Month, and we like when I say Black History, I'm a child of Black History Month, so like it's not a disrespect to say Black History, right? But because I was saying that for the other story, it is that language and that the language barrier. And not knowing like the culture, which misrepresents who we are. Because like you said, I'm not African American. I'm black.
Listen,
right?
Go ahead.
So you gotta have them friends. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, take it over.
No. So I'm indifferent, not with what you're saying, but just the whole African black. And this is how I learn. This is how I look at it in life. I look at life as, look, I can spend all this. It's almost what Tupac say. He says you can spend your whole life crying over spilled milk, or you just say fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's essentially what he said. I'll find the quote, but it's like yeah, I can sit up here and try to find this out, or I could just be the best person I am the way that I am. I don't feel like anything in my life is lacking where I got to figure out, oh well, somebody was like, oh, you gotta go to Africa, blah 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 for it. I was like, I mean, if I get to it, but I don't necessarily like I'm not opposed to it, but I just feel like sometimes people, I don't know, people, in my opinion, do things for the Joneses. Like I don't care to do things to prove. Like I don't smoke hookah or eat at the. I mean, I eat pretty good food, but I don't eat at the places just so I could take pictures. It's almost like what Drake said. Drake said, chick take pictures traveling and post them a couple weeks later just to show that she's still out there like doing stuff. It's like, I don't give a shit. Like I just say try to be the best me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care. Like, oh, I need to learn this history. And of course, hey, look, if that's what your bag is, that's cool. But I don't say, hey, look, I need to go to Africa to find myself, or I need to figure this out to find myself. I know who I am as a person, and I know how to make that person better. People are like, well, you don't know everything. It's like, yeah, that's true. I don't know everything, but I do know enough of what makes me happy and what I need to try to like. I don't need to go to Africa for 2 weeks and just to see like, oh, well, that's the history. Like, yeah, I would be going to Africa to observe the culture rather than trying to figure out who I am as a person. I know who I am. I know like my family define me, like my experiences define me. So of course, if that's something I can add to the bag, then that's cool. But I don't need to be like, oh, well, kid, this is why I'm African American. I was like, no, I don't really give a shit. I'm black, nigga, and I'm be the best black person ever. Like that is the bottom line. Like if people be like, oh, well, you don't understand your roots. I don't give a fuck. Like I care about. I don't care about. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with learning. Like where did you derive from as far as slavery and stuff like that, but fuck all that. Like, nigga, I want to know more about my granddaddy. Like my mom, my mom's give me details on that. I'll be fine with that. She won't because it's a touchy situation for her. I don't explore it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little things like that. I'm like, nah, I'm more built to learn about what's current and present. I mean, we used to do like we rock the African medallions and don't get me wrong, like one of the things that I did fuck with like heavy was Malcolm X. But that was just because of like that was the stuff that we were going through, and we were still seeing that. We were what's the word I'm looking for? Residual. We had residual experiences.
The side effects.
Of not slavery. Well, slavery too, but
slavery / civil rights / what was it? Slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, and
I mean, we had instances where people like we weren't too far away from being called niggers and shit. Like it wasn't that shit could. I mean, I asked Aunt Rosie about that one time, and I was asking her about she picked cotton and shit. I was talking to her, and I was like, well, have you dealt with prejudice, racism, etc.? And she was like, well, that was a way of life. They didn't see it as not being normal because it was normalized. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost like, she didn't, I mean, it wasn't like she was in slavery or anything like that, but she dealt with the separate bathrooms and
the separate the second hand. Yeah, she dealt with her reality was separate but equal, right? At that point, and white people don't mess with them. And then and see my point with the whole like I'm not African because like there's a different disconnect. I don't have a dialect. I don't have my history started with America. You know what I'm saying? And so like it's hard enough for me to understand my history, let alone understanding. And then if y'all really rock with me, why y'all didn't come get us? Like you can't take my brother away from me, or my sister away from me, and me not ever stop looking for him, right? Like come, like those are my people. We go like, and I'll never be cool with the people that took you. Like,
No, but it's interesting. I always feel like and maybe this is a small view, but when I was in college and stuff like that, we were never seen as, like, it felt like, okay, here's the African group, here's the black people. Like, I'm talking about, like, even within engineering, and the engineering, in my opinion, is probably the easiest way to see it, just because because African, Indian, white, us. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like, I can't think of no Latinos that was, like, no groups that was, within the engineering field. And not to say that it wasn't there, but I'm just saying, like, it was literally separated by those particular groups. And it was almost, not to say that it was you're better, but it was almost like, because I felt like I didn't get help from any of those groups fighting through the engineering, like trying to get to the next step of, well, when I was mechanical, but then over to computer science, etc. Like, I didn't feel like there was that support. Then it almost felt like it was almost like not a hate, but it felt like it was, like, oh, why do
Style.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hostile. It was like,
yeah. It's like, well, why do you get to date this woman? And it's like, so it's almost like hate based off of what you're pursuing versus off who you, being, because I've never, and this is, maybe I just think of things a little bit different.
Wait. Yeah, but I'm gonna hate to get you off, Sean, but we're gonna have to finish this conversation next time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
like, let's get into this. Like, nigga, like, nigga, I got shit up on this one. But thank you all for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Brian, is there anything you want to leave or you want to say?
No, I just want to say, be happy. Like Shantae, you said it best. Like, know you and be happy. So that's why I'm gonna leave it at that. And we out of time, so I can't wait to have some more dialect with my cousin and get back on the podcast and talk this all out.
We go get into a deep dive of this. But thank you all for listening. Talk to you soon. Peace.
All right, peace.